NASA announced that they're going to send a helicopter to Mars. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It's a dual rotor helicopter, and it's called Scout, and the whole idea of this helicopter is that it will scout ahead of the rover, the 2020 rover. Now, I know we have a lot of aeronautical engineers here and probably some pilots. Is there anyone here who can tell me why this helicopter will not fly on Mars? Anybody? Right here. Atmospheric density. You got it. Atmospheric density of Mars is, well, 0.6% of that of Earth. 0.6%. Now, it's hard to fly a helicopter on Earth. You have to have a lot of fuel, a lot of power. But NASA says the laws of physics don't apply to them. They can fly this helicopter without an atmosphere. Who needs the laws of physics when you're NASA and you can make it up as you go along? And so Mars has 38% of the gravity of Earth, which means you're still pretty heavy on Mars, but you have no atmosphere to push against. So you can't fly this, and by the way, it's going to be solar powered, they say. Yeah. Solar-powered helicopter on Mars. Who says I didn't bring you miracles here tonight? Solar-powered helicopter. The point is, you are being lied to all the time by the science establishment. They're not here to tell you the truth. They're here to spin their tales and give you their narrative. And by the way, the density altitude on Mars is equivalent to Earth's altitude at 115,000 feet. Have you ever seen a helicopter flying at 115,000 feet? Has never happened. The SR-71 didn't even fly at 115,000 feet. So this is NASA's future spacecraft right here. Yeah, they're gonna have a propeller space shuttle. They're gonna propeller their way to the outer planets, to infinity and beyond. And by the way, just especially for this presentation, we got a secret photo of NASA's new upcoming Mars Human Habitat Module. There it is for you. Oh, it's even better. Elizabeth Warren lives in it. Yeah. That's right. She's like 1% Indian and like 49% human. something like that, I don't know. Elements of this that are very real. And that's what I'm going to bring you here today. Because there are people who think they're saving humanity, and they're actually terraforming our planet in a way that will destroy humanity. Now, you heard I'm a scientist. I run a science lab. I have a couple of science patents and so on and so forth. But I've learned the language of science. I've learned the paradigms of science. And I've been steeped in the science industry. I'm a published scientist in peer-reviewed science journals. Today I'm going to use the language of science, and I'm going to use the reasoning of the scientists themselves to show you that well. So let's get into some basic science. What are the requirements for life on Earth? What is it that allows us to be here breathing today? And photosynthesis is the basis for life. All scientists would agree with this statement. By the way, this is a conventional science kind of statement. Photosynthesis, the process by which plants create energy. And without plants creating energy, there would be no food crops, no forests, no rainforests, no grasslands, no animals that live on the grasses, right, and the foods. There'd be nothing. Human civilization would collapse without photosynthesis. It's the pillar of human life as we know it. And photosynthesis has just 3 inputs. And those of you who are scientists or perhaps organic chemists or botanists, you would agree with this. 3 inputs: sunlight, liquid water, and carbon dioxide. That's what you need to make plants grow. And if you don't have those 3, you have no plants. Well, guess what? The globalists are at war with all 3. Think about it. They've said sunlight is bad. They want to dim the sun. They want to dim the sun. They're going to pollute the skies to dim the sun to stop what they call global warming. So they actually have these plans to put pollution into the sky. I'm going to cover that. They say liquid water is bad. They say they want a frozen planet, frozen ice. You notice how they're always talking about, we need more ice. And when the ice melts, that's bad. Well, wait a minute. I've never grown plants in ice. They need water, liquid water. You're going to grow plants, right? You need water. And then they say carbon dioxide is bad. They say it's a pollutant. Under the Obama administration, the EPA declared carbon dioxide to be a pollutant. Carbon dioxide is the food for plants. That's where they get their carbon. That's where vitamin C is made out of carbon. You know, the roots and stems and nuts and seeds and fruits and everything, it's all made out of carbon. Without carbon, there would be no plants. There would be no life, no human civilization. Carbon is a gift to us all. All life on Earth is carbon-based life. We are carbon-based life. Plants, animals, humans, insects, microbial life, it's all carbon-based life. We are made of carbon. If you could say, what is the, let's say, miracle element on the table of elements? It's carbon. It's the basis of life as we know it. And yet, we have a war on carbon now. A war on carbon. They say carbon is bad. We have to have a war on carbon. Even though I say carbon dioxide, if you were to name something, you know how they have the God particle in physics? They call it the God particle, which is a strange description from their point of view. But if you were to say that there was a God molecule, it would be carbon dioxide. It's that important to life. But they have a new term now, and you heard this recently from Ocasio-Cortez. She said we have to have decarbonizing. Decarbonizing? Someone needs to tell AOC that she's made of carbon too. She might not be aware that she's made of a lot of carbon. But again, all of us who are human, by the way, those are some molecules that are all made of carbon. Those of you who are organic chemists, you know that normally carbon is so common in chemistry, you normally don't even write the C. The C is hidden from all the diagrams. It's just connecting lines because there's so much carbon in everything. In fact, all of organic chemistry is about carbon-based chemistry. Without carbon, we'd all be dead. It's that simple. So NASA admits that carbon dioxide is re-greening the planet. Re-greening the planet. This image that you're seeing is a planet since carbon dioxide has slowly increased over the last few decades. It's up to, 408 parts per million in atmospheric chemistry now. Carbon is turning our planet green. And yet the greenies, they say get rid of carbon. Do they want a dead desert, ice planet Hoth from The Empire Strikes Back? I don't know, what are they trying to do? They're trying to kill us. Global warming is a fraud. You know that hockey stick graph? It's supposed to show temperatures suddenly warming. That's a fraud. The real graph, the real temperature data don't show that at all. And turns out they faked it. And there's something called ClimateGate, and the author of that hockey stick graph, Michael Mann, he just lost a major court case because he refused to turn over his data because it made it all up. Made it all up. That's not science, is it? That's fiction. That's fiction. In fact, here's a snippet of the code from the software that they use to modify the data to produce a hockey stick from any data that you put in it. You could put in, random lottery numbers and you would get a hockey stick. They call that science. And you can, that project would put calcium carbonate into the atmosphere, and all calcium carbonate is contaminated with lead, by the way. This is a way to put lead in all the skies all around the world. Now, I don't know about you, that sounds pretty insane. And then there's another project called Stratospheric Aerosol Injection, SAI. Now, both of these projects are very potentially catastrophic. SAI would put sulfur dioxide into the upper atmosphere. Now, sulfur dioxide used to be called pollution. So now we have the environmentalists saying we have to pollute the skies with sulfur dioxide to save the Earth. And by the way, sulfur dioxide causes acid rain. Remember the acid rain scare of the 1980s and 90s? They said, acid rain, it's going to kill everything. Now they're creating it. They're putting sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere. And by the way, the acid rain would acidify the oceans all across the planet and collapse marine ecosystems as well. And this is John Brennan, CIA director, hopefully soon to be indicted. Yes, I hope. Bill Gates, this would, as I mentioned, release lead into the atmosphere because all calcium carbonate is contaminated with lead, and we know this because we have an analytical laboratory. And we've tested dozens of calcium carbonate samples and lots, and we found lead in all of them. Lead. There's no such thing as calcium carbonate without lead. And so why did Bill Gates choose to put calcium carbonate into the atmosphere? Oh, and it's being run by Harvard scientists, the brains of the nation, I guess. The same people who tell us don't eat lead paint, right? Did they paint Harvard with lead paint, and now they're eating it? And they've lost their minds, and now they want to have it spread to everybody? It's like, is this equal justice? Everybody's, equivalently brain damaged? I don't know. What are these mad scientists, what are they doing? So they say that they want to pollute the skies, and this would, of course, rain down lead upon the crops. All the food crops with lead, you know that food takes up lead from the soil if the lead is present. And then, of course, lead causes mental retardation. And lead also, now, a new study, lead kills 412,000 Americans a year from low-level exposure, which means that lead kills more Americans than cancer. And that's published in The Lancet. A lot of people haven't seen that. It's changing the atmosphere with unknown consequences, even changing ocean currents. But that's not stopping Bill Gates. So we have a double assault on plants with all of this. We're blocking photosynthesis, we're blocking nutrient uptake by changing the the pH of soils. When you raise pH of soils, you reduce nutrient uptake of plants. Dropping all this calcium carbonate on the soil will alter pH. And this is all funded by the world plankton in the oceans. Yeah, they run on sunlight too. So if you dim the sun, guess what? You collapse the food webs of the ocean, of all the oceans. So you're killing the plants on land, and you're killing the plants in the ocean, you're killing all marine life. We're talking about a total collapse of the food supply of human civilization. Who would do this? I mean, you just saw the requirements for life on Earth. What do scientists want to do in the name of science? What do they want to do to our world? They want to dim the sun, freeze the Earth, lower the oceans, eliminate carbon dioxide, reduce photosynthesis works. They know the role of water, atmospheric oxygen, all these things. They know. But the answer is it's actually terraforming.